Hello YouTubers and welcome to another episode of the vlogs. As you can see, we've made it back to the Leander car park for the beginning of a regularly scheduled normal vlog. No episodes at the house for the foreseeable future, I think, but we've got to get the boats off the trailer from being at Dorney. There has been a lot of work over the last few days, so we were here last Saturday. There's been a lot of work going on over there for Henley Royal Regatta, so we'll show you that after the session, after breakfast. But first things first, before we warm up, before we get stretching, before we get on the water, like I said, we've got to get those boats off the trailer. So, let's get to it.
Why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long. Tell me, why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long, want you all night, 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 want you all night.
We have finished putting the boats in and getting the blades out the truck from the seat racing at Dorney. Now time to readjust the blades from the 4s to the 8s. That's a difference of different boats rowing, so the blades are different lengths and different inboards for each boat, depending if you're on a pair, 4 or an 8. So I'll talk about that a bit later, but also the differences. We spoke about differences between pairs and 4s and pairs and 8s, but now we're going into 8s. We'll talk about the differences of 8s. But now it's time to get on the water, so let's get to it.
Tell me, why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long.
We have made it off the water, just going to fuel up after that session because food is fuel, but look at the progress there has been made on the boat tents for Henley Royal Regatta. So we're here, like I said, on Saturday, so they've got it all put up, and the famous blue and white striped parts of the tent, the covers, have been started to put on. So hopefully you enjoy a little bit of the updates there. And now a little bit about the 8 rowing. So as you saw, we were in the 8, and that's the boat we're going to be racing in Germany, and that's in Duisburg in a week on Saturday's time, so less than 2 weeks away. And then there's loads of boats going to be racing there. I think the German 8 is going to be there, a Dutch boat, a few Brooks boats, and us, of course, as well. So it's going to be a really exciting race or regatta to be on. I think there's one on Saturday, one on Sunday, and really good race experience. But the 8 rowing is very, very different. So we've been used to rowing the pairs, and we went into 4s last week for the seat racing, and then that's a big difference in speed, and then it's another difference in speed as well, which I think is probably the biggest thing, which then ties into other things that you have to get used to in the boat itself. Like, you have to be a bit sharper in an 8 because it's moving that much faster, and then the pin is in a different place in relation to where the feet are, so the stroke itself is different. It's a little bit more front-ended than in a pair. It's a little bit more back-ended. I've talked about that before, but now we'll talk to the other guys, see what their opinions of the differences in the 8s are. But we have to go get some fuel first. And since we're back at Leander Club, breaded egg toast is on the menu. Oh yeah!
I'll show you when.
And we've made it into the crew room. We've got the breaded egg toast for breakfast. Oh, absolutely delicious. Ed's here too, sister's here as well. Absolutely brilliant. We've got to fuel up after the session because remember, food is fuel. Ed, would you like to say anything about sort of the differences? So we were winning fours last week for the street racing. Now for eights, sort of difference between the eights as you finish off your food that's in your mouth that you're chewing.
I'd say the main difference is that eights tend to be a little, obviously a bit quicker.
Yes.
You have to be a bit sharper,
Yes.
so a little bit quicker. But it shouldn't really take any more effort to run eight than if it's sort of four, because the boat is just going quicker, you row quicker, and
And then once you get used to that quickness, it's fine.
it shouldn't feel any heavier.
Even though it is heavy. The boat.
Yeah, cumulatively it should be like
Sharing the load.
share the load.
As a team. And that's the big thing as well. By being a team in an eight is like a big thing. So we've got big Jimmy in the bows. And
Also, you've got someone in charge.
And you've got tells you what to do. You've got Whitney. Yeah, Whitney.
Whereas in a four, obviously someone has to take it on. Someone's got to steer. Usually if that's a bowman, then the two-man will take on the poles or whatever. And you're a bit sort of like on your own doing technical stuff.
Yeah.
So whereas you've got eyes, pair of eyes, like looking to see if
Big Jimmy's doing it
not getting his blade in.
I always get the blade in. But now it's time to fuel up because remember, food is fuel. It's time to get on the water, so let's get to it.
Tell me, why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long.
And we have made it to the dock. Now it's time to fuel up because remember, food is fuel. And we have made it outside of the club for another day. A delicious fueling up session there in the crew room, but I did not take the camera out because it was just so delicious. Just some pork and vegetables for lunch today, fueling up after the session in the 8. But today we're talking about those sessions in the 8, and it is just a whole different beast. Like Ed and I said a bit earlier, it's faster. Obviously, there's more people in the boat, and just sending that boat along will make the boat faster, which means you have to be a bit sharper. But it is also, it's just a whole different atmosphere. It's like when you have two people and you're bouncing off each other and you're positive, it's great. When you have four people's attitude, four people's positivity bouncing off each other, it's just that another level. When you have 9 people in one boat trying to do one thing and just make that boat go as fast as possible, all with the same attitude of the same goal, it's just a whole nother level. And that's what the 8 is all about. That's why I really, really like rowing the 8. I learned to row in the 8 in the school I went to in the US, Kent School, before I went to university. In the 8, plus also of course it's a bit more stable, so all you have to do is yam on it. And that isn't just pulling hard, getting the most watts or whatever, getting the lowest split. That is also just giving it, you have less to focus on and you can just try and take the best stroke that you can possibly take. So that's why I really, really enjoy rowing the 8. One, it's faster. It's the fastest moving rowing boat on the water in a sort of, if you go to the World Champs or regatta, the 8 is the fastest boat there. And also it is that almost, you can't really, intangible, but sometimes almost tangible, the feeling of just the atmosphere in an 8, when it's going well, when everyone's just, when the boat's singing along. If you've ever been in an 8 and it's going that fast, you'll understand what I mean. And hopefully for all the people that have had the opportunity to be on the water, then they will one day, if they haven't already, feel that feeling that I'm trying to verbalize. But that will be it for today's video. A little bit back to normal as we are back at the club, and coming up we have that race in Duisburg in Germany. That is a week on Saturday, and then there's 2 regattas over the Saturday and Sunday we will be racing. So there's supposedly the German 8 will be racing, a Dutch 8 of some, I'm not sure if it's a second 8 or not, and some Brooks 8s as well. So that'll be really exciting to get out there and see how we can compare to not only people in Britain that are top level rowers, but also nationally as well. And also a little bit of news regarding what some other plans going forward. Let me know in the comments below if you would be interested in an erg class run by me at Leander. That's something just in the very baby stages of going through things, but perhaps a possibility, just to see if we can sort of get the word out there for Leander Club and also help people that want to learn how to improve their erg technique. But as always, Yam Squad, if you've made it this far, remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching this far. Hit that like button and have a good one.